So today's Ash Wednesday, and it's been sort of a weird Ash Wednesday for me because for the past 7 years I've been in Catholic school. I went to Catholic middle school and a Catholic high school, so it was always pretty normal on Ash Wednesday, whatever date it is in the various years, to see people walking around with a little ash cross on their forehead. But now that I'm at university, I'm here at Wayne State, it's not really a Catholic environment, so it's been pretty strange today because I wouldn't even known it was Ash Wednesday if not for the fact that yesterday I ate a whole lot more punchkis than I should ever eat, and I know that Ash Wednesday comes after Fat Tuesday, and Fat Tuesday is punchki day. But, so today I was walking around, I wouldn't even notice really, except for, as I was leaving one of my classes, I saw two girls with the ashes on their forehead. And I thought, I think that's pretty cool that they're putting that themselves out there, they represent their theological views like that, saying, not really being embarrassed about it, being Catholic and being very open. But at the same time, they have an added pressure when they do that, especially in a non-Catholic environment, because they become the representation of Catholicism and of Catholics for all the people around them. But so I had this cool level of respect for them. We were walking opposite ways on the sidewalk. And as I got up closer to them, and they were walking, they were having this conversation, and the girl said that she didn't eat eggs because they were dairy. Yep. She doesn't eat eggs because they're dairy. Now, maybe this was just a little slip-up, or maybe she made sense in the larger context. Maybe she just really didn't know that eggs were dairy. Either way, it created a pretty poor representation of Catholicism for all the people around them. I mean, this isn't just a situation that happens here. You have the situation happening all the time, where someone just becomes a representation for that group, and if they mess one little thing up, if they sound really stupid, they make that entire group sound stupid. Prime example, George Bush in the United States, where we have a real A1 standing in the country, in the world right now because of his actions, right? But it's unfair to judge people based on simply one person. Now, obviously, the United States has been represented poorly throughout the country, and that has negative effects. And these Catholics were represented negatively by these two girls, but I sort of have to look at how I view people, and I realize that I'm just as guilty of, first of all, being a negative representation, and second of all, of viewing people by a negative representation. So to start with my being a negative representation of a group, I've talked about this before in my videos. I'm in forensics, and I'm not very good at properly representing the Wayne State forensics team because I'm loud, I'm different, semi-confrontational. It doesn't make it sound violent. I like to have heated discussions with people. And I realized that, and my coaches definitely realized that they don't like that as a representation of our team. And the thing is, I never really wanted to be a representation of the team. I always only want to represent myself. I want my, essence to come after my existence. I don't want to have some predetermined notion of what I should or shouldn't be. But the fact of the matter is that they exist in the world, and we have to find ways to overcome them. And, I guess by being yourself, whatever that may mean, as you've watched the previous videos, is one way to overcome those. But then we can look at a form of this representation that, the way we view other people. Now there's this theory in communication theory and media called the hypodermic needle theory, which isn't so much as a theory as stating something really obvious, that the media is going to show us really, really extreme stuff because that's what keeps us interested. We're not going to, tune in to watch paint dry for 3 hours. We're going to tune in to see, wars and problems and houses burning down and, babies getting cancer and AIDS or whatever. Just really dramatic stuff, so it keeps us interested. So when it comes to showing us and representing other groups of people to us, which oftentimes news media is one of the most common ways that happens, is we see the extreme sides of people, and that's how we view the representation of these other people. There's a song by Ryan Harvey called "What Did You Learn in the News Today," which talks about this. It says, it's a parody of "What Did You Learn in School Today." It's not a parody. It's a remake of Pete Seeger's song "What Did You Learn in the News on School Today." But the song talks about how we view Middle Eastern people. We view them as like nomadic and uncivilized, and how we need to save them from themselves and all this stuff. It's because that's the most extreme aspects of their culture. Yeah, we see terrorism a lot because terrorism is really extreme. What we have to make sure we do is we don't take these really extreme examples that we see in these really extreme circumstances and apply them as a representation of this whole group, because that's just unfair. Just like you wouldn't want, whether you could avoid it or not, to have George Bush be the representation for all of the United States, and I'm sure those Catholics didn't want those two girls to be the representation for their entire church. So just in the future, make sure you're really careful to understand, first of all, who you're representing, and second of all, how you interpret the representations you have for other groups of people.
What did you learn on the news today, American drone of mine? What did you learn on the news today, American drone of mine? I learned the nation's on heightened alert, and we better be careful or we might get hurt. There's terrorists and criminals crawling around, so they're putting up cameras all over town. That's what I learned on the news today. That's what I learned on the news. And what did you learn on the news today, American drone of mine? What did you learn on the news today, American drone of